Hello, hello. Who do I have with me? Oh, let's see. Senya, your mic's off. Someone else is joining by phone. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi,
Hi.
it's Violet.
Hey, Violet Love. How are you, dear?
I'm so good. How are you?
Oh, we're at the lake. I'm enjoying this time right now. Super excited.
Oh, I saw you guys are in Canada. How yummy.
Well, I am stoked to have you beauties on. I'm going to jump right into it because this is a timed little mini podcast, and I'm excited to see you beauties on here, and excited to hear you, Viola. Just got off a phone call with your significant other, and just wanted to
Yeah.
welcome everybody to the third week of the Total Female Package Book Club. This is Mirror 3. Reflecting your gratitude in every moment. And for those of you who were unable to join last week, we went over Mirror 2, and that was all around reflecting your passion. And so we had a couple of exercises. I'm not sure if, Violet, since I know you're live right now, if you got a chance to go through Mirror 2. But if you wouldn't mind maybe sharing with these beautiful women on in the book club today, kind of if you got a little clearer on what your personal declaration is around your mission. And I know you've had some practice doing that with the life map process and like what your North Star is. So if you want to share some of that clarity with the other TFPs in the book club room right now.
Yeah, I definitely am getting more clear, but my mirror and my life passion is clearly expressing love, love for the planet, for like Earth, and through relationship, through music.
Yeah. And so for those of you who are hearing Miss Violet right here, she is a part of one of our projects called Music House, and she's one of our premier musicians on our first album release. And really, when you hear Violet's tonality and the lyrics that come from her poetic heart, like you truly feel the nature of that love vibration within everything she's doing. And so part of what I'll share around really rising up into this essence of who you are is the total female package, which you naturally already are. It's just like tapping into those little pieces of yourself to unlock more of that ability, more of that just essence in who you are showing up as naturally as a woman, is around exposing and expressing that vibration of love that you carry. And there's so many ways in which we have an opportunity to move throughout our day where we can choose to act in love or act in fear. And when you're rising within that energy of you stepping into your authentic shoes as a total female package, you'll start to see when you can consciously and intentionally, and I'm reading several other books right now at the same time I'm reviewing the total female package for this book club. And intention is getting to the realness of your soul, the realness of what is there for you in that moment. So when you can act more in each moment as possible throughout the day, and that energy of love, and choose those moments that feel real to you, you're gonna see different people, different places, different resources all become available to you in a way that feels like magic, but it's not really magic. It's just the way the laws of the universe work. So last week, we're building upon, this is what the Total Female Package guidebook does. It builds upon each mirror. So the first mirror was around like, what does it really mean and truly like to understand being that authentic self reflection and falling in love with yourself. And that's kind of like the first step. And then the second step is once you like feel like you've gotten in it, and like I shared, daily love and falling in love with yourself on a regular basis throughout the day is practice. It's just like going to the gym. You can understand it and you could totally master it in one moment and then completely get rocked in another moment and allow triggers and ego and certain things to come into the fold. But, you know, rising into that essence of you owning your power, your authentic power means that you are actually looking at the moment that's happening and you're choosing love instead of the fear that can come up. So then the next step was, you know, what are you passionate about? What is in your heart's desire to create an income from and or generate, where you're not even thinking about it as an income, but like something that's yours to do, like was born inside of your heart that you came on the planet to do. And a lot of times we tend to not even sometimes see what are we truly, you know, if we're not a singer and artist, like naturally, and we're kind of like a part of more of like the, I'd say more of the mainstream of like really trying to go like, what am I just so, you know, so excited about, or what lifts me up, you know? Sometimes we got to go through a process to really uncover that for ourselves. And that's what Mirror 2 is about. It really goes through steps to uncover like what are some of the like top 5 things you're passionate about. And usually you can work on a project that would feel so fulfilling for you that it tends to bring a lot of other opportunities your way, that you then kind of like navigate naturally into something that you can create a lifestyle with. And so that's what Mirror 2 is about. And now that we're over at Mirror 3 around reflecting gratitude in every moment, a lot of what the TFP does is like these simple little kind of life hacks, these simple little like tools and tricks to kind of think about that actually open up possibility for you in your life. And I found through several of different readings and authors and speakers and just really intelligent people who were so, I would say you would see these people in your life and they look so put together. They have attracted many things in their life. They're living a life like they truly want to be living every day. And I would now, like, I would literally be like a magnet towards these people. And I'd always ask questions because I want to know, like, what are the insider secrets that you know to like truly living a life of your dreams? And gratitude is always top on the list. And so, you know, I mentioned before when this book came together for me in my late 20s, it was due to a breakup. It was due to me putting my soul on interview. And it was due to me already reading a ton of different spiritual type, personal development type books, living your best life, you know, studying Oprah's Soul series, things of that nature. And I put together this book in a way where I was simplifying all of these major, really like articulated concepts that people were like zoning in and going, okay, if I could just pull out the simplicity and share that in a way where any woman from any walk of life, whether and I don't say this because I'm judging this, but if you grew up in a trailer park or you grew up in high society and everything was handled for you, but somehow you're still internally not happy, or, you know, any walk of life, that they could pick up this book at any moment in their life and find some type of inspiration in it to remind them of their true beauty, and like that their essence is always with them, and how to realign with like who they are to really bring into their forefront what they want to experience in their external place. So gratitude always came up in all of these people's conversations, interviews you saw, or even from a perspective of, you know, the unanswered prayer, you know, and gratitude being a mix of faith and action. And Val is with us, yay. And so this is literally part of what Mirror 3 is about, now that you've gotten to a little bit more of an understanding of like the power of self-love for Mirror 1, and then 2, like you're learning a little bit more about yourself around your passion. Now it's like, okay, you're opening yourself up now to all these different ways to love yourself. And gratitude is a way to actually give that love. It's a way to give it to yourself, and it's also a way to give it to your family members and your friends. And it puts you on a very good feeling vibration, which everyone will understand. When you feel good, that's when other things that are also in that vibration you can see. It's similar to, you know, I used to back in the day be a radio DJ down in San Diego for hip hop stations. So if anybody wanted to hear hip hop, they went to Jamazzy 90.3, where hip hop lives. And that's where they would find any hip hop song on. So it's the same way in life. Like when you are happy that's a certain vibration that your body is naturally experiencing, because we're not solid, we're all matter and energetics. So then you start to then be on the flow in that moment of everything around you that's on the happy vibration. So then you get to a point where you see that, you see those people, you see those resources. And so gratitude is a way to keep you on a vibration that keeps allowing the things that you're thinking about that you truly want and deserve in your life to come to you. So mirror 3 opens up saying, and I want to make sure that hits home before I get into mirror 3. And I know, Val, now that you've joined us, if you have anything that you want to share on gratitude, or you let me know, you give me a yay or.
Oh, yes. Technical difficulties, but I got on.
Perfect.
Something about gratitude is that something as simple as sharing a smile.
Yeah.
It's when you think of gratitude, it's like, oh man, I have to write down everything I'm grateful for. But really, it's also sharing a smile. It can be something as simple as that, and really, truly, that expression, or actually that reflection of that's for me what really sticks out with gratitude is like share a smile, because you don't know what anyone else is going through. And even with whatever it is that you're going through, you're so much prettier when you smile.
Much prettier.
And so just, gratitude, share a smile. For me, that's just what comes up, because I express gratitude 100 times per day. But there's certain, for me, it's also too, it's just like smiling helps me also remember just like, oh, I'm in gratitude for whatever it is, good or bad, that is going on. I am in gratitude for this moment. And, and really I'm excited to jump into mirror 3 so that the ladies can really kind of just flush out, something as simple as that. That's what I found, when working through. It's just we're truly finding the simplicity to be grateful for in life that just ripples out everywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And that's one thing that I do want to echo, that gratitude is around simplicity, and gratitude is around saying thank you for what is and what is to come, because we're created as these creators. Since we're all a reflection of the universe, God, the cosmos, whatever you believe. And in that power of authentic creation, gratitude brings forth those feelings of gratitude, which encompass joy and love and happiness, magnetically bring those things to you. So when you think about the simple things in life to be grateful for, you begin to discover a tangible action to bring the feeling of love to your world. So gratitude is like a key that you can pull out in any moment of your day to actually unlock more things to come to you. And I say that because I've used it and I practice it, and I've used it on people in certain moments that I'm like, I just don't like you. Or if they did something that I was judging their behavior as wrong, and you immediately know how that feels, because it's like rising in you, this like emotional trigger. And so like in that moment, it was such like I had to consciously get there over time, where it naturally would unfold in my life by default. And then when I started, I could change the way I'm reacting to that. I have the power to do that. Then I went on a rampage of appreciation, and I would look at that person, and whether I was in their face or just thinking about them, they weren't near me. And then I would write down like, what are like the 5 things I actually appreciate that person. And I would watch it change my internal conversation and story. And instead of being upset or, out of alignment with that individual, I would then find new ways to actually be excited about having a relationship with them. So an example of this could be your boss. An example of this could be your mother-in-law. An example of this could be your mom, or whoever in your life like kind of tends to like bring up the most triggers. Those are like the blessings in your life. Those people are the most people, like the people in your life you should be most grateful for, because they bring all these lessons to you. So part of the keys in this section is to really understand the alchemy of what gratitude can do for you in your world and in your life, and that you have access to it every part of the day. Even if you just take 2 minutes to sit down and think about what gratitude can do for your dreams and your mission. I for over a year, every morning would wake up and would write the 5 things I was grateful for in my life that I was going to experience that day. Even in the moment, when I was writing that in the morning before I got out of bed, even if they hadn't come true yet, the fact that I could be grateful for it was already saying thank you. And it was a way of like saying, I know that this prayer is being answered and now I'm grateful for it. And sure enough, by the end of the day, when I would read my list, all those things would manifest with ease and grace, as if I forgot about them, but they would happen because it's that intentionality, it's the focus, and it's the feeling tone of what gratitude provides for you. That's why it serves you. So when you express it, it's like you're putting this energy out into the world, and by the laws of the universe, what you share comes back to you. And that's how it works, whether you deem it good or bad, but gratitude is what we're focused on right now. So sharing gratitude brings it back to you. And so it's like your act of kindness. Like how I think about, like, what are 5 things I can do in this next hour as my act of kindness that are genuine to what I'm doing today. I share as I go through this mirror, and it's one of the shorter mirrors because it's so simple, like what Valerie shared. So one of the things I really want you to think about when we get off this call is starting to get in a practice of writing things that you're grateful for. So even if it's just one thing a day when you wake up in the morning, or if it's just sitting after this book club, in the book club, hang out with all of us, and you write down 10 things that you're super grateful for in your life, start to pay attention to how you feel when you write about it. It could be a life partner you're super grateful for because you feel understood and loved and heard. It could be the freaking amazing shoes that you were just able to afford and buy for that cousin's wedding you're going to on Labor Day weekend. It could be like your puppy. It could be a kitten. It could be and animals have the best way of just showing you what unconditional love and gratitude looks like when you get home. And they're just like waiting to like see you and love on you. Like that's a gratitude in action. And so thinking about that, and as you're exhibiting that actually like takes a moment. Gratitude, the actual act of gratitude shows you your greatness. Gratitude shows you the power that you have to actually look at every moment and choose how you want to feel about it. Now, that's easy for me to say now because I've been disciplining myself and practicing this for over 20 something years. But when you just think about that, like gratitude actually shows you your greatness because it gives you the opportunity to show the power you have inside of you to choose how you want to feel moment by moment. I mean, that is powerful. Like, you mean I don't have to just be in my head and like think these negative thoughts anymore, and I can like actually retrain myself to feel different about a situation that for years I thought was bad and horrible, and I felt ashamed and guilty. And trust me, I know that some of the women on the call, as well as women listening to this later, as women picked up my book, that certain things happen in your life that are just super traumatic, and you go through things that you're like, how can I possibly be grateful for that? You know, I was in a very emotionally abusive type relationship at one point in my life. And think about that, I go, wow, like I was able to navigate through that. But then I also can look back now and see like how much of my learning and growth came from that one, what it seemed like an extreme relationship, and be super grateful for it now in this moment. And so that actually can help you stand in your light as a total female package and rise, knowing that you have the power to retrain your memory banks on what that experience can do for you. And when you're expressing gratitude, so I say here, expressing gratitude in your life allows you to be your authentic self. When you're in a place of joy and love and bliss, you are connected to the essence of what some may call your spirit or your soul, your true self, your higher power. And so when you're expressing authentically love and gratitude, you can definitely find a way that supports you to be more of who you are in that moment with so many people. And it actually sets you up to be able to just share more of what is truly living in your heart. And so that You're in a place of extreme bliss, extreme happy. You're like in that moment, that sliver of a moment where you're feeling the love and you're feeling the gratitude. There's so many different possibilities swirling around you that you could be calling in and that you deserve. So when you're expressing that which you naturally are with no resistance in your field, you are then calling in everything that the universe is made up of on that vibration that you truly deserve and is yours by your birthright. And so that might seem like a lot for me to just pack into like a couple things, but the simplicity around it is just start practicing gratitude. Just start seeing how gratitude can serve you, and just start to watch how things open up for you in a different way. And that's really the simplicity around gratitude. So when I share here in the book that gratitude is thanking the universe for answering your prayers in advance, we're these creative beings. And I was reading this amazing book earlier today on my little fun Canada retreat, which I invite everyone up to at some point when we're up here during the summers at our home. And I was unlocking some messages, like a Doreen Virtue book around like the 10 messages your angels really want you to understand. And in one of these, she was really sharing messages she was getting around the 4 bodies that make up who we are. She was sharing the physical body, obviously, that we can see, and that creates what we think is separation from each other because we're individually seeing each other out there. And then there's the intelligent body. That's like our creative, like we were made in the image of the universe, cosmos, God, whatever have you believe, what you believe. And so in that creative intelligence is we have this power to have thought. And because we have this power to have thought, we also have this power to have thought turn into form. And so gratitude is a way to thank the universe for answering your prayers, because a prayer is really just a thought you're having. A prayer is a thought that you can imagine, and if it's truly yours to experience and you're feeling grateful around it, which is the feelings of love and joy and bliss, then you're calling it forth into form. So by already imagining it and thanking the universe for it, it's on its way to you. And that's really having faith, and then having the action that you take in that to take the steps forward to be in gratitude each day to call that in. So one thing that I will share that I hope that everyone takes time to do in this book, whether you have the ebook or the physical copy, is to think of 3 things. Think of some big dreams. I mean, when I say big, I just mean something that's like maybe you feel is a lofty dream, like, or maybe something that's currently not happening in this moment, but you can think about it and you know that it's because you're imagining it, it's partly yours to create. And think about like 2 to 3 things in like that in your life that you really are craving, and write them down. I say in blue ink, and I'll tell you the little hack on blue ink versus black ink in another mirror discussion, but write them down in blue ink and really start to dream of like all possibilities like you were when you were a child. When we were little, we would run around the play yard and we would like tell everyone, I'm going to grow up to be a doctor, I'm going to grow up to be a fireman, or I'm going to grow up to be Miss Universe, or whatever it is we were dreaming back then. And we knew when we were a kid anything was possible. We were so tapped in back then. And so I just ask for you to sit with yourself, and this is part of you showing that you love yourself, because you're tapping into like truly understand what are some 2 to 3 things I actually really would love to dream about and experience in the next like year to 5 years. So sit down and have that conversation with yourself, and then feel grateful for the fact that you can even sit down, take out a blue pen, write at your desk, like be grateful for every single one of those moments. That's so amazing that you have the ability to do when others don't. And so those are some of the things that I would say focus on when you're actually doing some of these exercises. Just the simple things to be grateful for, that you could see, that you can imagine, that you know what colors look like, that you even know what the car you want looks like, and you know where to get it, and you have a way to create income to do it, or you're, open up to new possibilities of income generation. So these are all the things I would say you want to focus on when you're sitting down and write your next 2 to 3 dreams that you're really aiming for. I share here, gratitude brings you freedom in many forms. Gratitude is a great process, excuse me, to align your voice with what you believe you deserve to experience in this life to be fully expressed. It literally is for me, I've learned gratitude is like a game, but it's an authentic game. And we, by the power of what's in our heart and soul and our minds in any moment, when we're navigating creation, we have an idea of what we feel like we deserve. We tend to know deep down inside, like, here's what my dream life would look like. You know, if I really sat with myself and separated me from all the noise and all the energy of other people around me, here are some things I would really like in my life. I would like a partner I could spend, 20, 40 years with, rest of my life. I would like a child. I would like to live in Santa Barbara in a home near Oprah's, or I would like to, send my kids to college, or I would like to go build 10 homes for children in Africa who are, suffering from lack of food and different things that they're going through. You kind of know what some of these things in your life are. So then you can go, well, how would I do that? And energy is just a form of, money is just a form of energy. And so sometimes when we're looking at gratitude and we look at money as a way to provide freedom, and that is one way, yes, and other ways are around really living in your authentic voice, when you can speak and share who you are with confidence, and you've mastered yourself and you know when to say yes or no to something, which we've already discussed in the earlier books. That brings freedom in itself. But in this moment, I think it's actually really productive for you to also think about, hey, the kind of lifestyle I want to live, the kind of events and charities I want to give to, the kind of person I want, what location, environment, how I want to give to my family, how I want to raise a kid. Like, here's what I'm estimating my lifestyle would need in the form of money as energy to withhold. So that could be $80,000 a year. That could be $100,000 a year, whatever you think that is. I'd love for you to get that number. And there's a little practice I have in here in the book in this section to write down, what do you think that number is of what your monthly income is? And yes, I'm going to talk about monthly income because it's important as part of you becoming more of who you are already as a total female package, that money doesn't become anything that limits you. The whole idea around stepping into your essence of the total female package is knowing that there's a possibility within you to create whatever you need in every moment. And it's really healthy for women to get clear on what they believe that lifestyle of the giving, of the family, of the partnership, of the house, of the location, what does that lifestyle look like in the form of energy per month, and get clear on what your number is. And that already, by getting super clear and writing it down, starts to set in motion, and feeling grateful for you knowing what that number is and how you want to monetize what that amount of energy is going to flow into. Like, you're creating all of these aspects of new opportunities for you to be grateful for, because that money is going to go to family, that money is going to go to environment, that money is going to keep you healthy, that money is going to go to like a charity, whatever that all is for you. Those start to create different ways of you participating in your natural self. So when I say it helps, gratitude brings you freedom in a sense, it truly does, because you're grateful for all these different things that you are thinking about that you can express in these ways. And so get clear on what you think your amount is and be grateful that you know the number. That's step one. And that's what we're going to talk about in this section. And we'll dive into more of that in different parts of going deeper into the TFP, but at least get really clear on what you believe that monthly number is for yourself, and start to feel grateful and start to see yourself like flowing with ease and grace, opportunities that come to you that all of a sudden start to align. If your number is $5,000 a month and you're like, oh yeah, $5,000 will allow this energy to flow to this part of my life, this part of my life, and this part of my life, and this part of my life. And then all of a sudden, when you start to own that the $5,000 a month is what's going to help you in this next stage of your life, then you start to see opportunities come to you that all of a sudden, like, you get a phone call and someone's like, hey, I got this client. I can't take her on. I think you can. You know, she's willing to pay $5,000 a month. It's like, boom, all of a sudden that opportunity presented itself because you felt good about it and you knew the number. So when the number came to you, you were able to take action and move forward in that way. So that's all I want you to do in this moment is get clear on what you think that is and start to feel grateful for the fact that it's out there and it's a possibility. And if you can imagine it, then that means it's yours to create and co-create. So the gratitude practices. So one thing that I carry around with me years ago was a faith rock. It was this rock that had the word faith on it. And I carried it for like 5 years in my pocket every day. And then, and the reason why is because it always reminded me that to just feel the power of faith and believe in the things that you knew were in your heart that maybe in that moment they weren't presently in front of you, but it just reminded you to go to that place of gratitude. So I always recommend and now I have crystals, and now I have a beautiful wedding ring and things that now are like my reflections of gratitude. And so when I think about this, having some type of symbol that you can carry around with you in your purse every day in your pocket, so that when you're in that spaciousness throughout your day of driving in the car, or you're at an appointment, or you just go for a walk and you touch it, it immediately anchors everything you're grateful for to that symbol that you're holding. That actually enlivens your spirit. That actually starts to then like regenerate and put you back on that vibration of love and bliss and joy, which is gratitude, that you may not that you may like, it's like you're consciously programming yourself for good. Like I can look around and like when people speak, like when I'm with people, and you'll get so clear on mastering yourself through this book, like on understanding all the ways to love yourself and all the better ways to love yourself than you have been, which unlocks this confidence and this esteem as you really stepping into your shoes as the total human package. You'll start to actually hear how everyone speaks about their family, their life, their business partnerships, and you'll start to see where they're not loving themselves or others in their life. And so then you might start to hear stories about how things are getting created in their lives that aren't really what they want. Well, part of it is this like programming yourself, like you go to the gym to develop your muscles in this tonality of love and this frequency of love. And so anchoring things that you're grateful for to a symbol that you touch every day is such a powerful reset for your mind, your soul, and your essence to remember how much care and love goes into who you are and who you're becoming and who you're stepping into. Write down 5 thank yous in the morning or evening. And so these practices at the back of the book, I do all of these. I've done all of these for years. And it's literally what's changed my psyche from being in the shower seeing like a negative scenario gone in my mind versus like those don't even pop up in my head anymore. I think I shared this last week, and for those of you who are on the call, like I have one of my nieces who's studying psychology call me the other day, and actually she sent me a text and she was like, wow, I focused on thinking positive all day long and I had the happiest day ever. And it was such a reminder to me about sometimes how when we allow our minds to kind of tinker and go off in a different direction, if we're not like realigning it back to that voice of love, you can start to create a little bit of what might look like a mess in your life for things that you don't want, right? So these are all those practices like sharing and writing down. So it's from your thought and your imagination to pen to paper, which is a creation, the things that you're thankful for. And then create gratitude affirmations. I've seen so many different iterations of this throughout the course of different educators and influencers on the perfect way to write an affirmation. The one that I always found left everything open for you was to say, I am so grateful and thankful now that, fill in the blank, I got a $5,000 raise this month or something better. Like those are the practices, those are the trigger words that retrains your mind and opens up to the allowance of the possibility to truly step into being available for everything in your power of allowing what gratitude gives you to come forth into your reality, because you are the total female package. And This is about you creating your life exactly the way you choose it to be and feel. And you're responsible for every moment. Like, you are the director of your life in every single moment. And gratitude is just a way to actually write a couple lines in your script each day that help you bring forth the actors and the resources and the players that you want in your story. And so that's literally what this mirror is about. And I encourage you to really practice gratitude this week and catch yourself in moments where you're not feeling grateful for a situation or a person or an experience, and then change your trajectory, transmute it, use the alchemy of gratitude to transmute that into something new for you that puts you more in a love-based experience than a fear-based experience. And with that, we have like 5 minutes left. I'll open up the floor to anybody who wants to share, and see if there's any thoughts that any of you would like to kind of questions or thoughts that you want to share. And then next week, we're going to get into Mirror 4, connecting to your spiritual reflection. But other than that, the floor is open for anyone who wants to share or give a suggestion or a practice that they do around gratitude or anything. So.
I guess I'll just jump in and say thank you. No, I'm grateful for the TFP and the book club and the community that's starting to form from this. And, as we've led up to the Mirror 3 of gratitude, for those who are on the book, or, who are going through the book for the first time, it's like you can see that just last chapter, last mirror was your passion. So now that you've kind of worked through the exercises and have discovered some things that you're really passionate about, or rediscovering some things that, that are probably more aligned in your life, here's an opportunity to open that up now for yourself, through the acts of gratitude, through the practices of appreciation, that will draw those things into your life. And as I sit here in looking at your beautiful background, I'm looking at my ocean view room in complete gratitude, because this is what I've called in for my life. And writing it down and practicing these things, whether or not systematically or not, I'm kind of, here and there. But when I look at, I have called these things in, I have written these things down. This is what, so I'm excited to hear what you ladies are continue to create with your lives, especially, for this, something as simple as that. It's just an act of gratitude, what it truly does open up in your life. I would say, for all things, for all experiences, good, bad, ugly, interesting, whatever it is, find the gratitude in those and really see what comes out of, what unfolds out of that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We had beautiful, and what Val just said too, around having gratitude for where you are in your life right now, and looking at what is in your environment and what is in your reflection right now, and knowing that your thoughts created that, and having gratitude for those thoughts, knowing that whatever you create next is going to be this or something better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other beauty out there want to share?
Hey, I got one. It's actually kind of cool, because the gift of gratitude does work. Like, I haven't spoken to my family in years, and just recently I'm like, I guess I'm going to open that door and I'm going to say thank you for them, and I'm going to work through this. And every night before I go to bed, I thank the Lord for my brother, for my mom, for my sister. And then slowly they started coming into my life, and then these situations started to unfold where I needed to show up. Like, my stepdad had a heart attack and I had to go to the hospital. But it was really interesting watching like what happened, because because I had become grateful for them, I was no longer angry with them, and we were no longer like fighting, or it became harmonious.
Yeah.
So much so that I'm going to go see my mom on Saturday.
Oh, awesome, Sonia.
Yes, I can say I still struggle with gratitude other places in my life, because sometimes I'm like, oh, what a jerk. But what I've noticed is you just start slow, and you start with one thing, and really start with the things that matter, and then you can kind of see how like things do get better, and it's not so bad. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. I so appreciate hearing from you today. And yes, I know the ticker's running, so we may have to say goodbye soon, but that was a beautiful share. And I love what you mentioned around start doing it small. That's why gratitude's simple. And you just see it work in one area of your life and know that if it works in that area, it works in all areas. So then you're like, oh, like little life hack. I'm just going to start to use this everywhere else. And it's simple. And that's how life is meant to be. Like nature is such a good representation of simple and thriving. And if we're just there with it and appreciating it, then things that we appreciate will come to us with ease and grace.